video, y'all. It is February. I got a new stack of books that and when I say new, I don't mean I bought them new. What I mean is that I got another stack of books that I'll share with you guys that I will be reading the month of February. Now, I talked about doing the same thing I did last year a couple of times where I bought all of these shorter books, like books that were like 200 pages, like a lot of novellas. And I wanted to do that again, but like I said at the beginning of the year, I don't want to leave any really, really amazing books just sitting on my TBR for like years and years at a time. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to buy those books right now, but I did try to find like the shorter books on my like full TBR. So I think like the highest page count was like 350, which is average, but I have a lot of books that are over that. So I'm just basing this on what I have. And then there are a couple of shorties in here for the month of February because of course it's the shortest month. And you know, we got less days to read. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my list. I have a couple of young adult books on here and I'll point those ones out as I go. So this first one is a young adult horror novel. It's like Japanese horror, like Jumanji meets Japanese horror. It's a really good book and it's actually a duology. So this is the second book and this one is called She Waits for You Beyond the Dark. It's by Kristen Simmons. I really loved Find Him Where You Left Him Dead. That is like one of my favorite reads and I was very excited that there was going to be a part 2 because I was like, y'all cannot leave me hanging like you did in the first book. So it is a duology, so this is only going to have 2 books. So I'm interested to see how this is going to end. So this is the first one, and like I said, that is young adult. The next one is All Eyes on Him. It's by Eliana Xander, A Genius or a Monster. I think this is like a New Year's Day or New Year's Eve themed book because I got like another one during the holidays. I just didn't have time to put it on my Christmas TBR. But either way, I don't really know what else this book is about. But apparently we're trying to figure out if this man is a genius or if he's crazy and he's a monster. I don't know. So this one here, Young Rich Widows, this is by 4 different authors, which I thought was really unique. I've never seen over 2. But Kimberly Bell, Lane Fargo, Kate Houlihan, and Vanessa Lilly. I actually picked this one up by the Dollar Tree. It does have a quote from Miss Geneva Rose, if any of you have ever read her books. And this one is basically about, because I got this confused with another novel that is on this list, but this one is about a crash that happens in Rhode Island in 1985. It crashes, or they live in Rhode Island, these families, but the plane crashes like outside of New York City. And all of the people on board die in that plane crash. And these 4 widows are left. And basically, they're trying to figure out what actually happened because their spouses were not supposed to be in the New York area. So they're trying to figure out what happens. And this is actually set in 1985, which was the year I was born. So, okay. And like I said, that's a Dollar Tree find. And I literally found that one, like, it's the end of January right now. So we're like 2 days away from February. As I'm recording this, but I found this in January in my Dollar Tree, so it might still be in yours. This is another Dollar Tree one. It's Always the First to Die. It's by R.J. Jacobs. Yes, I do know what this is about. So basically, this is about a movie that is being filmed in Florida, and like all of these like crazy things happen on the the set. There are people who are basically like, I'm never going to go back there again. All of those things. And then the daughter of one of those, basically the people that were in the movie decide to go back to this place to kind of figure out what happened and everything. And of course, there's a category for hurricane happening. So this is what this one is about. I'm excited because it says 1 movie set, 1 stranded cast, and 1 person ready to make them all pay. So basically somebody's like, I'm going to get you for what happened back in the day. And this one actually goes by like the year. So it's a chapter, but it's like talking about a year. So I'm guessing it's going to go like maybe back and forth from past to present. Yeah. So very interesting to read that one, or interested to read that one. Now, this one was recommended, I think, by somebody at work. Or maybe I saw it, and I think this is the book they were talking about. Anyway, it's called Murder at the Black Cat Cafe, a classic Japanese mystery from the author of The Hojin Murders, is Shishi Yokomizo. So that's the book. The back says the diabolically twisted plotting is top notch. That's from New York Times. So I'm very excited to read this one. This one is a pretty short one. It kind of looks like the books that I would have read, like, you know, as a kid, as far as how the words are. And this one just goes chapter 1, 2, 3. It is, I believe, like, somebody's found dead outside of a brothel or something like that. And they're just trying to figure out who that person is and what happened. So I got a lot of Dollar Tree finds. This was another one, but I found this a while ago. No Accident by Laura Bates. The Crash Was Only the Beginning. So this is basically about some kids who fly out to this deserted island and basically they crash. Or they were flying and their plane crashed and they like swam to a deserted island or whatever. And they're basically fighting to stay alive, but then all these things start to happen and it's like, okay, somebody doesn't want us to get off this island alive. So the crash just basically gave them a way to try to take some people out. So that's what this one is about. And this one is set like day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. So I think that'll be a really good one too. This is also, no, this I do not find at the Dollar Tree. But this one reminds me so much of Young Rich Widows. This one, I don't know why. I think it's just the colors of the cover. But The Really Dead Wives of New Jersey. This is by Astrid Dahl. This one's really interesting and I can't wait. So basically, this one is about a woman who's in a show, Hope Bennett, marries this pretty much famous brother. Like, they have notoriety. It doesn't say whether it's for, like, from acting or just old money or anything like that. But basically, they're recording a reality show. And then someone actually dies on this reality show. And, like, the world is, like, watching this play out. So that's what this one is about. This one has regular text, regular chapters. But it also has, like, in not too many areas, but a couple areas where they have, like, scripted text. So I don't know if that's, like, the script of the actual recording of the reality show or what, but I do like when they add kind of different touches in to books like that. And this one is like broken up in parts, so it's like part 1, because I was looking at it and I was like, wait, how am I halfway through and I got back to chapter 1? But it's like part 1 chapters, part 2 chapters, and this one's pretty short too. It's under 300 pages. This is a recent Dollar Tree find. It's Wifey's Next Twisted Fate by Kiki Swenson. Definitely a novella. She's never been closer to losing it all. I don't know anything else about this, but I do know that this is a part of a series, and I'm hoping I won't be too confused because, you know, I picked it up from Dollar Tree, so I didn't know all, like, there were more books until, like, I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's a series. But if this is a good series, I'll probably go back and get some other books from that. Now, my next young adult novel is Blood in the Water by Tiffany D. Jackson. My cousin has been trying to get me to read this. This one is basically about an African-American family that lives on Oak Bluffs. If you know anything about Oak Bluff and their history, there are a lot of prominent, wealthy Black families that have lived there, like, back to the, like, early 1900s. But someone, there's a murder that happens in this one, and they're basically trying to figure out what happened on the island. This does not have Black trauma, so we stand for that. Alright, the next one is Daphne. This is by Josh Mallerman, and he did write the Bird Box. This one is unique, y'all. There are absolutely no chapters. I'm gonna be stressed out, but it's okay. This one actually, it's about I want to say it's a teacher. So basically, I'm gonna read a little bit of this. Horror has a new name, Daphne. A brutal, enigmatic woman stalks a high school basketball team in this reimagining of the slasher genre by Josh Mallerman. So I don't know if, like, because it says woman, so I don't know if it's like an adult stalking, like, the kids at the school, or like she's just a little bit older. But either way, this basketball team has a stalker named Daphne. It's supposed to give us horror realness, so I'm very excited about that. I also think, for some reason, I don't know if this is supposed to be considered like a young adult horror or if it's just with young adults. But that is, you know, that's pretty much the cast that's going to be in that one. This one is In Deadly Company by Ella Stratton. I've never read anything by this author, but it is a Black author, and I do not believe this has any Black trauma in it. I heard somebody else talking about another book she wrote, and so when I saw all her books at Barnes, I was like, oh, she's in Barnes. I was like, okay, well, let me get one. So basically, there is something going on at the company that they work at. Somebody like dies, and it's like who's involved, who killed who. And I don't know if it's the CEO who dies, but it's definitely someone who, her 1%er boss. So I think the boss is actually like the CEO, her boss, who's the CEO, is killed, and they're trying to figure out like who at the company took him out. And this one, like right at like 316. It's pretty tall though. So it's 316 pages, but because it's taller books, it's like you have more words. This one does do like past and present, and it is being told in some places in different perspectives. Now this one is a little light. The last two are pretty light. They're more of a mystery, and someone's still getting taken out, but not as heavy maybe as the other ones. No one was supposed to die at this wedding. A zany mad cat murder mystery by Catherine Mack. I loved her first book. Every time I go on vacation, someone dies. This is book 2. This one, they actually had, I can't remember if it was the end of the chapter or a sneak peek, but I feel like it was the end of the chapter because I typically don't read sneak peeks, but it alluded to this book. And I was like, okay, I'm really excited. So basically, she's at a wedding and someone's dead. And that's what happens. And of course, she's going to have to figure out what happened. Not just what happened. The last one is All My Bones by PJ Nelson. This is also a series. It's the series by PJ Nelson. The first book is called Books for Murder. And basically, a young woman, I can't remember her name, Madeline Brimley, inherited a bookstore from like her aunt in this small college town in Georgia. And when she inherited it, of course, things went left, right? So you have that mystery. I'm not going to tell you what happened in that first book, but this is like the second book in that series. So I did not read the description. I was just like, oh, they got another book. I want to read it because I enjoyed the first one. So of course, we're going to find out what mystery she falls into this time in this small town. So that's my stack. We got, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 books for the month of February. I'm really excited to read these, and I'm really excited to know what you guys will be reading in February as well. So as always, my name is Sho'Shanna. Thank you guys if you are new for stopping by, join the family. And if you are returning, I appreciate you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.